Ever look at the Rulers tool in Clip Studio Paint and wonder about the subtool labeled Special Ruler? Well, wonder no more. This isn't just one, but a whole set of very useful rulers you're going to love. Normal rulers just allow you to create a single guideline that you can snap your tools to. If you draw somewhere away from the ruler, your tool works as normal. Special rulers are different. As long as one is active, it creates a rule your other tools have to follow anywhere on the canvas. A quick note, if you're not familiar with rulers in general and getting other tools to snap to them, be sure to check out my Rulers Overview video before you go on, link in the description. Let's start with the first option in the Special Ruler dropdown, the Parallel Line. Click and drag a line anywhere on your canvas. Now, no matter where I draw on my canvas, all lines will be parallel to that ruler. A unique feature of the Parallel Line ruler is that it's not attached to the canvas, so you can draw it somewhere out of the way. The next two options are both types of curve, but they work a little bit differently. If you choose either of them, Parallel Curve for example, you'll see these curve settings become active. Though it's still called a curve, the first option is simply a series of straight lines. Click to add a point, drag, and click again to add another point. You can do this as many times as you wish. Right-clicking omits the last point you placed. You can also click an existing line to add another point, or click an existing point to remove it. To place your final point, double-click. You can also hold down the Control key and click to stop adding points. If you're unhappy with the shape, you can always go to the Operation tool, select the Object subtool, and use it to select and make adjustments to the ruler. Using a curve set to straight line is a great way to demonstrate the difference between parallel curve and multiple curve rulers. As the name implies, lines drawn from a parallel curve ruler will never overlap. That means points will become curved as you get further from the ruler. On the other hand, lines drawn from a multiple curve ruler will follow the shape exactly, even if that results in an overlap. When selected with the Object subtool, multiple curve rulers also have an additional widget that lets you change the direction they overlap. There are two types of curve, called Spline and Quadratic Bezier. Spline works by plotting a continuous curve that touches each point you add. You can also single-click on the most recently added point to omit its curve and turn it into an angle instead. Quadratic Bezier instead uses each point and interprets a curve between them. This gives you more control, but it's a little harder to master. In the end, just use whichever one you find easiest. A word of advice though, it's best to keep your curves as simple as possible. You'll run into all kinds of weird effects if you get too complex. Moving on, let's make a radial line ruler. This is another simple one, just click to place it. All lines you draw will radiate out from this point. A variation on this is the Radial Curve ruler. The first point you place will be where it radiates from, but then you can draw the same as you did with the curve rulers. Every line that radiates from this ruler will follow the curve shape as well. The last one I'll talk about is the Concentric Circle ruler. If you simply click once, you'll get a centralized point that you can draw perfect circles around. However, you can also click and drag to create an oval shape as a guide. When you release the mouse, you'll be able to tilt the oval to an angle if you wish. Then, left-click to finalize. If you'd prefer not to have that option, open the Subtool Detail palette by clicking the wrench icon here, then deselect Adjust Angle After Fixed. Another option is to turn on Keep Aspect Ratio, if you'd like, say, an oval that's exactly half as tall as it is wide. If you add a second special ruler, you may have noticed your first one becomes inactive and changes color to indicate this. You can only have one active special ruler at a time. To change which one is active, use the Object subtool to select an inactive ruler, and either check Snap here, or click this small icon by the ruler. Any other special rulers change to inactive. You can have multiple active special rulers as long as they're only showing on different layers. A normal ruler can share a layer with a special ruler. It'll override the special ruler's behavior if you start drawing close to it. As an example, here I'm using a combination of concentric circles and radial lines to create a round labyrinth as a background for my Minotaur drawing. I hope these clever tools have sparked your imagination, and I'd love to see what you do with them. Be sure to tag me at Ms.RedNebula on socials and show me your art. That's it for this one. Bye! A big thank you to all of my patrons, with a special shout out to Nova Tier patron Joe C. Phipps. Check out my Patreon if you'd like to help support future content like this.